BLAPCHAT. Chat, 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 chat. That was epic. See,
I couldn't even hear myself.
I brought a little bit of a percussive element.
A little
to that.
pizzazz.
Yeah, a little.
We've been switching it up.
You know, yeah, we gotta switch it up.
He did it low.
We gotta switch it up every week. Guys,
Where's
on that one.
switch it up.
James
is coming later. What's up, Crazy? What's up, guys? Welcome to BLAPCHAT. This is an all music production podcast. I go by the name of Illmind. I'm here with my amazing co-hosts. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Yo, what up, Atlas the Plug?
Yeah.
The Plug, what up?
G Leezy.
Hey.
Nah, good lyrics and music in the building. What's up?
Good glam.
Gleech. All right, what's up?
Glooch.
It's perfection.
It's perfection, and her snares are tight as fuck.
Yeah, the snares
No
are tight
wax
as
snares.
fuck.
No wax snares.
Yeah, guys.
Fuck.
And then this is us, man. Welcome to BLAPCHAT
Don't play.
episode. I think this is
62?
63.
Oh, 63. Fine.
Right? Is it, Josh?
Josh.
This might be 62.
It might be 62. I don't know,
we were
guys.
saying 61 for like
I
two
don't fucking
times.
know. No, this is 3.
Because
2?
when we
63?
came back, it was episode 60.
60 was static. 61 was
Ski
ski.
Beats. Right.
So 62 is our current episode. So
See, I knew what I said.
episode 62. Welcome to
it.
BLAPCHAT. Like I said, this is an all music production podcast. And first of all, we want to say thank you and huge shout out to all of our supporters, all of you guys that listen to our podcast. Without you, we wouldn't be here today.
Facts.
We wouldn't be shit. So
Facts.
we fucks with y'all, man. If you are listening on iTunes, make sure you subscribe to us if you haven't already, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. You know what I mean? Like, fill up our comment section with some feedback, some questions, thoughts, concerns, or just anything you want us to talk about and touch on. Comment on the comment section, and if you're on SoundCloud, definitely hit that repost button, that like button. All those little analytics go a long way for us. And again, don't be afraid to mention us on the comments section. Definitely hit us up. Don't be afraid to reach out, and follow us on social media at BLAPCHAT. And that's us. We're here, man. So episode 62.
Tag some producers, some guests you want to be on the show.
Spread the word, guys.
Spread the love.
That's another thing.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
That's
Shout
right.
to the Care Bears. Like, yo, for real.
Damn,
like,
I
tell
should've
your
told
people.
Preach to give me some gummy bears.
Put your parents onto us, right? Like, play this podcast really loud if you're at the house. Play it really loud so your mom or dad get mad at you, and then they knock on the door. Who's that? Who's in the room? Those are just my friends.
Right. Is there an app called like Money something?
Money something?
What does it do?
What does it do?
I don't know, but apparently, like you were mentioned among the. It was like about talking about your kits and how you were like
Planet Money.
probably.
Yeah, it's a Planet Money podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
They mentioned you.
Yeah,
And somebody was like, "Oh, you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on BLAPCHAT."
Yes.
Oh, they just
Again.
mentioned him on it. And I was like,
Yeah, so this wasn't super recent. So I was featured on the Planet Money podcast on NPR. So shout to Jason over there and the whole team for reaching out. And I did a little piece. They came to the crib and we did a full kind of interview on the BLAP-KIT business and the producer business overall. And it was great because the Planet Money podcast, they get a certain type of audience, a certain reach, and a lot of the stuff they talk about is like small kind of like businesses that you never knew really existed that are like lucrative, and so they wanted to touch on like the whole producer kind of business model right now. And it was a good time, so shout out to them. If you guys haven't heard that podcast, definitely check out NPR Planet Money. And I believe the name of the episode is, I think they called it How to Make It in the Music Business. But it's just a conversation about music production and like the business of selling sounds and stuff like that. So shout out to them.
Did we shout out Pigeons and Planes last week?
Yeah, we did actually,
episode?
but we can definitely do it again, man. Shout out to Pigeons and Planes for naming BLAPCHAT, our podcast, the top 25 hip-hop podcasts to listen to right now. And shout to everyone else who's on the list. It's The Real. There's like
Joe
a Kanye
Budden.
one on there, the Joe Budden podcast. So appreciate Pigeons and Planes for putting us there on the list and shit. We fucking earned it though, goddamn it.
Word.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Come on. And you know what's crazy?
Put
like
some respect on our fucking
put some
name.
respect on the
Put some
BLAPCHAT
respect on
name.
it.
The
You know what I'm
Everything is
saying?
blab.
Everything. Everything. So shout to Pigs and Planes. Also to we might as well knock out a couple announcements. Today there's a little DJ booth tweet. And the tweet was basically announcing that me, Illmind, I'm actually starting my own blog column on DJ Booth, a weekly column.
You gotta drop the.
Oh yeah. What am I doing
Come on,
here? Let me do
L,
that
what you
again.
doing,
Rewind.
yo?
Okay. So I'm dropping a column on DJ Booth, and
Exactly.
Right.
God damn it.
It's more
Anyway,
like it.
yeah, shout to DJ Booth. Basically, by the time you guys hear this, we will be releasing the first entry. So basically, I'm going to start writing a weekly column on djbooth.net, and it's going to be obviously based around my experience and music production and all that good stuff. So definitely check that out. I don't want to reveal the name of the column yet. It's got an ill name, but it's really just sort of like a train of thought for me, and it'll allow for me to kind of elaborate a little bit deeper on a lot of the stuff we talk about here on the podcast and then on my YouTube and stuff like that. So definitely check out my DJ Booth column. Shout to DJ Booth. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's going on. And Atlas, True Masters.
Yeah,
It's
so
coming.
it's coming,
It's
March
fucking coming.
fucking
Tell them
first.
about it.
I'm
What
so
is it?
excited.
Tell for those that missed out on what the True Masters is, why don't you tell them what it is, when it's going on, and how
Yes.
they could be involved?
So what it's going to be March 1st here in New York City. So if you're a producer, you're a rapper, an MC, a singer, or you're a dancer, it could be a b-boy, b-girl, ballet, whatever you want. It's going to be 8 producers, 8 artists, and 8 dancers. It's going to be a tournament style battle where the crowd picks the winner. I'm going to have a noise meter and all
Hey.
that. So it's called True Masters Show. So you can go on Instagram, True Masters Show, or you can follow me, Atlas the Plug, and in the bio has the link. So definitely check it out. There's going to be a lot of movers and shakers in the building.
When's the first show?
March 1st.
March 1st. So you got it a little over a month.
Yeah, so now's the best time to submit because we're picking our finalists to get in the show. So
All right. So if you are a rapper, if you are a producer, if you are a dancer, you should 110%. If not register for this, you should be in the building. But I highly recommend registering to be in this competition. It's going to be a great time. My man Atlas is hosting. This is a great opportunity to just showcase your skills right here in the heart of New York City. So True Masters, what's the website again?
The True Masters Show. So you can on Instagram and Twitter, True Masters Show.
.com?
No, the link
Okay,
is
the
on
link. Okay.
on the social media, or you can follow me, Atlas the Plug, and all the information's in my bio.
All right, True Masters. There it is. It's going to be fucking lit.
It's gonna be. Oh my god!
I love like these new competitions. Like, have you guys fucked with the 4 yet? I haven't
I've seen it.
yet.
I've
I
seen
haven't seen it.
Okay, what's your opinion on it? I like the
cool.
fact that it's like a battle, right?
Yeah, I like that the chairs keep changing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not like the same storylines like American Idol, which we all.
So what is the concept?
So I only saw a little bit of it, but what it is they go to different cities and then they pick like the best from that city, and then they get to sit in the chairs that they have, and then each city you can be replaced if someone in that city is better than you. They put them in your chair,
Right.
so they have the 4, which is Khaled, Diddy. What's the girl singer's name?
Forget.
What's her name? Anyway,
Yeah.
but it's a good show. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. So
Yeah.
Wait, quick announcement too. Since today's Friday,
Yeah,
So I'm putting out. I have a video out. I will have a video right now.
Hey.
Is that
It's
for
on YouTube.
the new joint?
Yeah, it's called Say Yeah. It's a remix, rework type thing. Check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's called Say Yeah, coming out with a new joint.
Yes. It's
Video.
called Say Yeah. It's gonna
Video as well?
Video and audio. Yeah,
Oh man, I'm hyped.
Hey.
I'm hyped. Yeah, I'm Glam's #1 fan.
Was
so.
that the one you let us listen to?
That's another one. That's coming too, though.
Hey.
All of it's coming. Yeah, we're starting with that one. Basically, yeah, just working.
Yeah.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that.
Amazing. Perfection. How are the beats coming?
I'm
What are you
working on some new beats. I'm working on a project, but I don't want to talk too much about it.
It's
yet.
not ready. Not
Okay.
ready to unleash yet.
Yeah.
That's all she needs to
Oh
say.
man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like,
Listen,
here it
guys, this is proof right
We
here.
working. Steve
We
Lobel
working.
voice.
We're all working. Shout to Steve Lobel. We gotta get Scott on the show, man. We gotta,
Stork?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta
Oh.
get Scott.
When he's in town, he's gonna
When
be
he's
here.
in
Steve
town,
already
it's gonna
said
be
he's like
lit.
he just hasn't been. But when
Yeah.
he's ready to go, he's out
Exactly.
here. We'll get him on there. Or he said if we're ever in, is he in
In
Miami?
LA? I think he's in LA.
He's in
He's in
LA.
LA.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're all out there. We can do
Yeah,
that for sure.
Shout, but we are working. I think it is definitely 100% an amazing time to be a producer. If you are a consistent listener of podcasts, you know that, we've just always been kind of digging into the conversation of, what it's like to be an independent producer and what you can do, what you can't do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And really, at the end of the day, it just comes to just there not being any rules, right? Like, none of this stuff is predictable, but
Especially
I find
now.
Especially now.
You can record it today and put it out in 30 seconds all over, like selling it, monetizing off it. It's crazy.
Exactly. Like, I'm a firm believer in this. I think the name of the game is just putting stuff out, man.
Yep.
You gotta put the music out, put it out. I'm gonna shout out and mention. This guy is almost like the fucking cousin of like what we're doing, but the homie Gary V.
Oh yeah.
When you
course.
fucking watch his videos, this guy is like confirming a lot of the stuff that we talk about in terms of putting out content. And when he talks to musicians and rappers and even producers, his strategy or his advice is always, put the music out. Put it out. Don't overthink about strategy or like dropping at the right time. Just like put out as much music as possible. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yep.
What do you guys think about that? Because listen, this is the dilemma here. Back in the day, right? I would even say 4, 5, 6 years ago, even like it wasn't the sort of like format was to just like work on this like body of music and then like really think about like a strategy and a rollout, and then like you can't flood the market too much. But I feel like now that more and more people are consuming music and they're just so ready for the next thing, if you are approaching it in that old school way, you're just getting left behind. But there's also a fine line between oversaturating yourself and then being spread too thin. So what do you guys think
and
about
then it's
that?
a question of like quality over quantity.
Exactly. But does that concept even matter anymore? So that's what we're talking about. What do you think?
I mean, I think they all do to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, I think I don't think there's anything wrong with like planning, to like strategizing how to like roll out an album or a tape, you know what I mean? Like taking the time to do that. But what I would say is, even with that concept, I think nowadays, being that, the market is being oversaturated with just so much music, people are trying to like come up with those strategies quicker. You know what I mean? To keep putting the music out there. But
Right.
I think it all matters to a certain extent. I feel like, it's quality and quantity in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird because then again, like when I think of like the 30-day beat challenge that you've done, it's like, your beat from day one can sound way different than your beat from, day 30.
Right.
So it's like the quality's the quality's obviously gonna improve, with the quantity.
Yeah, I think also too, like a factor that plays to it is just like how popular you are, right? So like if you're unknown, the strategy changes than if you're mega popular. But then on the flip side, you're seeing someone like Gucci, who's like
Migos
the king,
and Drake.
like this guy's dropping a new
tape
project every month, but people are listening. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you think?
I think if you're, depending on the level of your artistry or brand or whatever, you're a producer or you're an artist, if you're super well known, then you can do pretty much anything. You can do, one album every 6 months and people are going to eat it up. You can do, a track every 2 weeks, a single, people eat it up. I think though, if you're an up and coming artist or producer, the best way to get out there, in my opinion, is singles.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen is, and I see it happen all the time, they put 16 songs on a friggin' album. They put all this money into mixing, into mastering, into promo, into PR for maybe 2 months because that's all they can afford. Because we all know PR is expensive. You're looking at least $1,500 or more a month, easy. And that's the low end.
More
PR.
like 25.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's like the low end because the homie rate, you know. But if you're an up and coming producer. Or you're an up-and-coming artist, you want to be in people's faces, you know, spread out and along like more in a shorter amount of time. So the problem with a 16-song EP, besides dropping all the money and, you know, you're shooting 3-4 videos, is it'll live on social media. It'll live on the blogs for like 3 days. You'll be on the front page. And then within the week, you're like all the way down in the middle of nowhere where no one finds you. And then people will listen to your track, to your album, maybe once or twice.
Right.
And then they're on to whatever the next thing is. I think it's a better option to, take those 16 songs,
spread them out,
one every 2 weeks or 3, and that shit is gonna last like a 6-month run right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So of being in people's faces all the time. So to me, I think that's a better option for an up and coming producer and or artist.
Yeah.
But if you're already, you know, big already, then
you can fuck around.
It's just really
you know what's interesting about this conversation though is, like, the idea is trading on attention, right? So like we're doing, artists and producers are doing certain things to gather attention, right? And get attention to them. Yeah. And for a long time, for an artist, let's say, the attention grabber was a song, right? Usually it is. You put a song out and then people start talking about you. Nowadays, with social media and everyone just like paying attention to culture, it's really now bigger than just the songs, right? So people, you're trading attention on different things. Like when you look at
Cardi is a good example.
Yeah, Cardi B, right? There's certain ways that she's moving and certain things that she's doing that are allowing for people to just talk about her all the time. And look at my man Joe Budden, right? Like he's not putting any music out, but he's literally the hottest. Like he's still a rapper.
Topic.
He's one of the hottest rappers right now, and he hasn't put out a single piece of music. Think about that for a second.
It's the
you
power.
know what I mean?
I think the power of it also is like how loyal is your fan base, and like how much is your fan base. Like obviously, there's people who are good, and then they do like put out consistent music, like Drake or Migos or Gucci Mane, and then you have like someone who has like. Then you have people like J. Cole and like Erykah Badu.
Right.
Where like Erykah Badu doesn't have to put out too much music either. She can go DJ a club, or she can go collab with somebody or whatever, but it's still like her. She's still relevant.
She's still her.
In some way, still meaning to be her. So I think it's like a decent balance between the quality and the quantity, but it also depends on like how, like, what's your reach, and then like how loyal are those fans to you, and like how invested are they into everything that you're doing.
How much are they paying attention to you? I think that's the key, right? And it doesn't always have to come in the form of a song.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like really just like you know, focusing on like doing things that will get your name spoken about.
Oh, you know who's a good
saying?
example of that too? Who I don't even know she did music before she even got a deal.
Who?
And Glam's gonna kill me for saying her name, but the Catch Me Outside girl.
I don't give a fuck about her.
Bad bar.
I know. See, just the way you said it, though, just like
I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, no, but
she's an inside joke.
She's an interesting story because. People just paid attention, and then
she just bought her mom a house.
I mean, look, good for her. You know what I mean?
Hey, get your run.
Hell yeah.
Get your run. I don't hate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's interesting about all this, and I want to actually speak from the perspective of the music producer, because that's kind of what we do. But like, I think, you know, when you think about placements, and then you think about, you know, guys like you know, Metro and Mike and all these guys, they're putting themselves in the spotlight, in the position to get people to talk about them.
Yes.
Right. And even my man Murder Beats, like, he's starting to kind of be right behind them, right next to them, and coming up on that. So like, it's not always about just like the placements though. they're doing other things that are getting them part of the conversation, right? And so to me, like, what I discovered, especially being a producer, is like, what can you do that's unique to you that will get people to talk about you, right? And so you kind of have to get creative a little bit, you know, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're just telling your story, and you're getting someone to buy into the fact that they either like you or don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let's think about Metro for a minute, right? There's no reason for anyone to hate on Metro.
Right.
Like, I can't think of one thing
Right.
that Metro has done to make me say, yo, he's corny or he's like an asshole. Like, think about that. You know what I mean? But certain people you can. We won't name names, but
there's
you know
always a hater. There's people out there that hate Metro.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I do. I love
but
Metro.
I'm talking about
sure.
the way he moves.
Right.
He doesn't move funny. Like, he's not moving around where there's like this large amount of people that are like, yo, I don't fuck with Metro.
Right.
I feel like, too, because
you don't have to love his music.
No, I love Metro. But I feel you. I think, too, when you're someone like Metro who's like come up with these artists too from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like, broke a lot of artists, and you know they kind of blew up together, him alongside with the artist. So I feel like he's got so much confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so good with himself.
Yep.
Because he knows where he's from and what he's accomplished and where he is now. And to me, I still feel like he's still very humble.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like he can just walk into any situation, any session, and just know, like, I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like, without being a douchebag about it. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you can, I feel like we always say this though, but I think it's so true. If producers need to find these young artists, man, and just groom with and build with them early.
Yep.
And like, magic will happen, man. If the music is good and you have enough dope artists and a dope team around you. You know, like, I had someone hit me the other day, like, yo, man, I love what you guys are doing with BLAPCHAT. Like, how do I get people to, you know, hear my stuff, or how do I get discovered? I said, look, keep putting out quality music, and if your shit is dope, they will find you.
Yeah.
They will come finding. It just happens like that.
It just happens.
You know what I mean? But you got to continue to put out dope quality music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to be consistent with putting the stuff out. And you're right, they will come. That's why I love this 30-day beat challenge thing, because it's an experiment right now, but it's like, it's working. It's working for people. You know, I get hit up all the time, and shout out to all you guys that are listening. That tried the 30-day beat challenge, and some of you guys are doing 60 days. Some of you guys are doing 90. I got a couple people hitting me up like, yo, I'm doing this 365. I'm like, yo, do you? Hit me up a year later.
2-year plan.
Yeah, hit me up a year later and like, show me the numbers and let me know like how much you've progressed and how many followers you've, you know, gained, and how many, you know, fans you've built up from then when you first started and all that stuff. So it's really working. But I think it's interesting because there's two different ways to approach it, right? You can do the 30-day beat challenge thing concept where you're just consistently putting out beats and music, right? But then while you're doing that, you should absolutely be developing artists. Like, there's no reason for you not to do both.
Here's a good example. Jay Lee, who's here now, actually.
Shout out to Jay Lee.
Shout out to Jay Lee. JAELEE music. Check him out on IG. He just moved here. The kid just turned 18. He just moved here from North Carolina. He just moved to Brooklyn. And how many events has this kid gone to?
Well, like 4 or 5? Well, how many?
He's only been here like a week, and he's gone to 4 or 5 events.
And he's met like 20 people that are in there,
and
like,
his Rolodex is getting crazy just from going out there and being out there. And that's the mentality I feel like these young producers and artists need to have, is you have to get out there. You have to shake hands, kiss babies, get connects, and build with people organically. You know, but like, at the same time, while, you know, do the 30-day challenge, you know, whatever, or if the 365, whatever they want to do, whatever makes sense for them. I think you have to do all these little things, you know, to be somewhere at a certain, you know, to build your brand, essentially.
Exactly. So, I mean, just the proof is in the pudding, guys. But listen, if you're not working with artists early and you're not developing, you're behind.
And that's why, and I'm excited for our guest today. I know we haven't announced it yet, but these guys have groomed
They're
artists. I mean, they're a perfect example of what we're talking about today. And you're here who it is soon, but
Yeah.
I'm very excited to speak.
Coming
with
up
them
right now,
today.
yeah. So listen, artist development, right? Big thing. We have some really, really amazing guests today. I'm really excited to talk to these guys. So you're definitely familiar with them. They've done a lot of work in the tri-state and just work with a lot of different people. We've actually had them on our show before, so this is sort of like a part 2. But we have a couple guests here today that we're super excited to talk to. We got our guys, Buda and Grandz, that are in the building once again, who have done tremendous work on Dave East's new album, Paranoia 2. And then we also have a third guest, my guy, JoJo Beatz.
JoJo Beatz.
Who also did like fucking pretty much the whole album. He's all over the album. He got like 2 or 3 on there, which are also fire.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is gonna be, and I snuck one in there too. So this is gonna be a bit of a like sort of Paranoia to Dave East kind of conversation, but we also want to kind of dig into the concept of like really buying into an artist early and really investing and sacrificing your time into an artist and seeing how that can pay off. And I think an amazing kind of example of that is, my man Buda and Grandz, who have, stuck with Dave for a long time. And now we're at the point of Paranoia 2, and, they've been able to accomplish so much together, and Dave is obviously like a megastar now. So, again, this is proof that, when you invest in an artist early and you really just stick it out and sacrifice and grind, and sometimes you gotta get, stay up on those late nights and like sacrifice, time with your family and your friends, and sometimes even sacrifice money and really just invest in an artist, it can pay off. And I'm really happy to see it start paying off. So we're going to get our guys on here. I'm going to talk to them, Buda Grandz and my man JoJo Beatz. Let's give them a round of applause before we get that going. Yeah. All right, we got the incredible production, America's favorite duo. I love that.
Right.
Buda and Grandz.
Yes.
We have the amazing JoJo Beatz here. Let's give another round of applause to these gentlemen.
We're about to do business. This is not
New York
this
is
is not
feeling-
podcast.
It's
We're about
feeling
to do
really-
some business.
It's feeling really New York right now.
Word.
New York
All
in
right.
the building.
Yeah.
All right.
We got the coronas going around.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, guys,
Yes.
welcome. This is part 2. You guys have been on the podcast already. What was that? Episode like
was
11 or 10 or something.
You said 11.
Early on.
I was like, was it like 10 or 11?
3. Actually, it was 3.
Yesterday, actually.
Yeah, can you talk to the mic actually, Joe? Yeah.
Episode 3. One of the
Let's
early
move
days.
that up a little bit
Yeah.
so that you can talk into the.
There you go.
I got the
Pull it a
Motown
little
mic.
A
closer.
little closer to you. There you go.
There you go. Give a little check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. 1,
Okay,
2.
cool. Yeah, so we had you guys episode 3. A lot has happened very beginning. So these motherfuckers know what time it is. They know what it is. I want to jump right in. I want to jump right into, ever since that interview, you guys have been able to really like grow a lot more, accomplish a lot of the things that you guys set out to accomplish. I actually want to start this conversation off by talking about the Steel Sessions stuff.
Yes.
Because I think what you guys are doing is super amazing. So for those who don't know, Buda and Grandz have this kind of like showcase that they do here in the city, right? It's called Steel Sessions, and you guys are basically getting producers, or just is it artists too?
It's a producer engineer workshop.
Okay, so
One-on-one.
it's a one-on-one workshop. So tell the people a little bit about the workshop.
It's pretty dope. It's called Steel Sessions, ran by my partner Grandz Music, myself, and Mike Cuz, and we also collaborated with V1 Productions. And it's a workshop, one-on-one, very intimate workshop on the producer aspect and engineering aspect. And we talk from placements to publishing to producer etiquette, how to get your mix right, getting your drums in order.
Just like a networking event too. We invite like special guests and have artists and producers come through and play like beats and music. So
Tight.
It's a dope event to
And
network.
it's at Engine Room Audio.
And it's at Engine Room.
Hey.
Bedroom family.
You know what I'm saying? Wait. Hold that thought.
And
All right.
okay.
And I've
Yeah.
been to them, and they definitely get crazy.
Yeah. So Steel
Lit.
Sessions, you have producers, engineers come through and they hit play and they vibe with you guys, and you guys have some special guests too that come through. I see the homie Dave East definitely pulled up. How was that like?
It was dope, man. A couple of the legends pulled up: Evil D, Dave, Sean CNLV, Buck Wild. Hopefully.
Hey, come on, man. I mean, next to those names, it's kind of tough. You know what I mean?
And it's dope, man. It's becoming like a community that's been growing. We've been taking it on the road. We actually visited 2 schools, one in New Haven, Connecticut, and another one in Boston. And we're just taking it right now from city to city, along with building it in New York at Engine Room only.
Hey, Engine Room. That's what's up.
It's been a dope experience from the newbies to the legends, and it's dope. It's like a camaraderie where everybody's vibing and just learning from each other. And a lot of the younger producers are getting placements as well as they're coming along to Steel Sessions. So it's dope to see from the beginning aspect and then also from the veterans.
Amazing.
That's super cool too, because they're bringing
shout
like
out to
the
Pastor Oaks too, man, because y'all killing it out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, the reason why I love what you guys do is because that's like exactly what more of us should be doing. Is like you get to this point where you have this like voice and this influence, right? Yeah, exactly. And then so it's just a great way to get the community together and like kind of pay it forward and inspire our peers. You know what I'm saying?
We believe a lot in like steel sharpens steel.
Yep.
And, you know, you being a producer as well, is that we lay the foundation for this industry. And one thing I would love to happen, you know, as we was coming up, we had to learn shit as we go.
Yep.
So it was like kind of like on autopilot. Now we could kind of like teach our peers before us to learn from the mistakes we made and how to sharpen in your business and how to get certain placements and keep relationships and building on that. And not just leaving all your responsibilities to just the artist.
Yep.
Like, we're creators of sound, and sound is a soundtrack to people's lives, so why not apply that to every aspect in life and not just be arrested to the artistry aspect of it?
Exactly.
and then super dope too, because when we were coming up, we didn't have anything like that.
Right.
No.
Right?
We had to like learn as we go.
Yeah, or you had to like carry crates to try to get into the club because you weren't 21. You know, and also too, what I love about what you guys are doing with the Steel Sessions too is you have the young cats in there. You know,
JoJo.
yep, and and then you know having like the OG cats like the Buck Wild, and you know and Sean, you know, and LV and them, and like where you guys are taking this, you guys are traveling around now doing this, right? I think that's so awesome, and I think all our listeners should definitely go. Where can they? Where do they go find this at?
SteelSessions.com.
Perfect.
www.steelsessions.com.
All right, so steelsessions.com.
And I think I was just going to say, I think it's cool, like, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, artist development. That's kind of like, you know, along the same lines. And, you know, within doing that, it's like you never know who's the next young cat that you find, you know, that you can end up, like, developing or collaborating with to, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and, you know, like, if you're responsible for grooming the next superstar producer, that just goes such a long way. I mean, the return that you can get on that later on is so, and it's not always about like the monetary like return, like, hey, let me sign you to my publishing. Like, it's not really always like that. But to be able to like change someone's life is like, I mean, as a human being, that's just like such a good thing.
For we really get a kick out of seeing people improving.
Oh yeah.
Every month you see producers getting better, and that's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
We recently had a producer that he's pretty new into the industry, but he just got a placement with Styles P.
Amazing.
Ron Dunn. To see his growth and actually getting in a placement and now developing his own relationship with like Jada and Dave and them, it's a beautiful thing, because I remember being on the phone with him like, bro, just tough it out. You just gotta keep going. I know your parents complain about certain things, but you gotta trust in yourself that you can do it. And when he got his placement, he called me like, yo, you was right. I'm like, you just got to keep going and you know, have faith and just be a good person overall.
What's his name?
Ron Don Beats.
Ron Don. Shout out to Ron Don Beats.
Ron Don out of Yonkers. And he was able to, like, you know, develop his own relationships, got cool with Styles and the Locks and Poobs, and now he's up there like all the time working on projects.
Relationships.
Relationships.
Put that shit on a t-shirt. Relationships.
Put it on the lights,
Like,
the big
get a
lights.
fucking tattoo. Relationships. Just put
That sounds like
right here.
a Drake album.
Right here on your fucking upper chest. So when
ready
you rock
for
the fucking
relationships.
crew neck t-shirt type joint.
I'm ready.
So yeah,
You said
JoJo.
crew neck, go away.
JoJo, I want to talk to you a little bit. So You got a few placements here on this Paranoia 2 album.
Right.
Loving this. This shit's hard,
Fire.
man.
Still at like, I can't believe this.
Fire.
So, yeah.
Well, you're here, man. We were talking outside.
Yeah.
The first time we met was what, 4 years ago, 5 years
I
ago?
actually met you 2 years ago at the 80-20 session.
80-20, that was 2 years
Paper
ago.
Box,
Yeah, with Paper Box, there was an event going
all
on.
the way in the back, just scoping the whole scene out. And
Yep.
actually saw Buda and Grandz there with Dave East
Yep.
still coming up, and it's crazy how it goes full circle.
Yeah, so you have, 3 songs on Paranoia 2.
3 and 1 co-produced.
And one
with
co-production.
Grandz, yeah.
So this is sort of like your first kind of
Right.
like, all right, this
Foot
is
in,
it.
yeah.
Foot
But
in.
even in the last project, we had 3 joints on there.
Oh yeah, well Paranoia 1, yeah.
Paranoia
Basically,
1.
Collab with you too.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
First, hold on. You on both. So did you attend the Steel Sessions? Like, how did you guys meet?
Yeah, so basically we met through this whole.
You're just talking to the mic a little bit
I'm
more?
sorry, man.
There you
So
go.
basically we met through this whole Dave East connection. And
Uh-huh.
my manager Jarnell franchise on Instagram, he put me onto everybody on the team. So me and them started linking up, and one time we would link up. We went to Philly, and the beats we made over there, we actually got placed on Paranoia 2. So that was a blessing. And the whole Steel Session stuff, it's definitely progressive because every time I would go, you'd see more people show up. So that's like an eye opener, Yeah. So you see more producers getting better, more producers showing up, more engineers, and you can see how much it comes a long way.
How much it grows.
Yeah,
Right.
Definitely.
So what's life like for you now? You're on Paranoia 2.
Still working, man. Still in my cubicle,
Mhm.
Still trying to make beats as much as possible. So even though this is my beginning, I still got a long way to go. So
Absolutely.
it's a
What do you
blessing, though.
produce on?
I use Machine,
Okay.
but I'll like export on Logic.
Okay.
So let me ask
I
you
mix on
something.
Logic.
So obviously a lot of our listeners are upcoming producers, and a lot of them are still sort of working toward that one like moment, like
Yeah,
what you're kind of going through now. What was life like for you before Paranoia 1? I mean, what was the work ethic like? How often were you making beats? Were you shopping around? What were you doing?
Just trying to work with as much local artists as I can.
Uh-huh.
I come from Staten Island. Well, I just recently moved out there, but you could tell it's definitely a whole different place from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to really up my game up, start working, get my social media game up. So one day, I was on social media. My manager actually reached out to me because I would comment on artists' pictures like, I got beats, please come
Right.
through and see. And he actually saw it one day and he was like, send beats to this email. So we exchanged email, and from there.
And that was your manager?
Yeah, my manager.
So that's how you linked with your manager?
Yeah. So he reached out on Instagram like a year and a half ago.
Nice.
So this is still all new to me. So
Yeah. No, you're literally in the trenches right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Great way to start.
Yeah,
That's
great
a
way to
fact.
start. I mean, think about it. If
Great
you
location.
never put your beats out on your Instagram
Right.
or the snippets, right?
Yeah, snippets.
Then your manager would have never found you.
Right.
And
And
that's
you-
crazy because he did say in the email exchange, he was like, Dave, like he messes with the snippets you have. So from there, I was like, all right, let me send some beats. So from there, he was like, yo, send me your number. So I sent him my number. He FaceTimes me out of nowhere. I didn't even know who it was. And then you just see Dave in the studio. They finished the song already.
Hey.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's a
Hey.
good.
Dave works
that's a
mad
good
fast.
call.
Yeah.
That's a
Mad
good
fast.
So
Yeah.
from there, it was just,
That reminds me of the Super NES story when he met Bryson Tiller.
Yeah.
It was just I believe
Yeah,
it was
through
Instagram,
DM.
right?
It was
through
Instagram.
DM.
And
Yep.
then,
It was a barber.
Yeah.
It was a barber. It was
Yup.
like it was like he knew the barber knew the manager.
The manager.
And then he was like, oh, send your tracks here. Sent them. It got to Bryson. They're like, yo.
Boom.
Boom.
On the
And
phone
then
with Bryson
Bryson called
Tiller.
him like
Yo,
the next
Instagram,
day.
don't
Yep.
sleep on the gram. Don't sleep on the
Don't sleep
internet.
on the
Don't
gram.
sleep on the
And
internet.
another one is the
honestly.
greatest.
Facts.
Another
That's a
Graham
fact.
story.
Facts.
Cardo Got Wings. Drake.
Mhm. Same
Wow.
thing.
Word.
He posted up a snippet on his Instagram of a beat, and then literally Drake DM'd him because they were following each other already. He's like, "Yo, send me that."
Just like that.
Sent it
You'd
over,
be
and then he ended
surprised
up
how
on
many
views.
people be lurking.
So many people.
Everybody lurking.
They might not like your shit. They might not.
They are looking.
but they
still
see
looking.
it.
That's
You're
why
right.
you even
Like
gotta
everybody.
know how to finesse your social media.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
trip. It's really a
And
trip.
don't take it personal.
Yep.
Not true. Yeah, because
That's the most important.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Take
different
social
type of hustle,
media
but it's still a hustle at the end of the
Right.
day, and you gotta put in that work either way. So
You inspire those that never like a picture.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
you really do, because they be looking like
Yeah.
They might make a ghost account for you.
Yeah.
they might, and
That's
they'll
true.
have at least a
Facts.
20-minute minimum conversation about the picture before they scroll away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
Right.
That's true.
So-
JoJo, so are you shopping around right now? Like,
Yeah.
what's your next step right now? Like, are you looking around for like any kind of publishing deals? Like, what's your situation?
Well, I feel like the publishing deal eventually would probably come on its own, but
Mhm.
right now I'm still trying to just work with as much people as I
Good.
can.
Good.
You know,
Good.
going to steel sessions, trying to work with my guys Buda and Grandz. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still the same kid that comes from that room
Always.
before Paranoia. You know, so
Always.
We got a couple placements in the stash too.
Yeah,
coming
man.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
see? Being humble here. Don't you love those little random texts and calls?
I
Like, yo,
love
I think
it.
we caught one. I need your I need an invoice.
Yes.
Word.
yes.
Yo, I need your lawyer's info.
Yeah.
That's that text
Yeah.
right there you want to get.
definitely. Man.
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling about the reaction to Paranoia 2? Is there sort of like a personal favorite you guys have, or what's it been like?
I mean, we've been talking about that lately, but we can't really pick one. But a lot of people are saying that Paranoia 2 is like their favorite Dave project.
Favorite project?
Yeah.
Facts.
So that's a
I mean, it is.
It's tough. I feel like every project is like a piece of us. You know?
Yeah.
It's like a child you let go.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm still growing with the project. I love it. I love the reaction, especially being at the top of the year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my peers is on the project, which is dope. And not for nothing, sonically, I feel like it sits in a space where it was needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very thankful for the project and excited about the next one.
Yeah.
And
out
both
to
projects
Dave
went
East.
number one too, right?
Yeah.
Dope.
Shout out to whole Def Jam, Davies.
Yeah.
Steve
Shout to
Carlos,
Def Jam,
everybody
Carlos.
part
Shout
of
out
the
to
whole movement.
Dave.
Yep.
Franchise, everybody, man.
Chaz.
Amazing.
You too, Illmind. You got a
Illmind.
banger.
You know,
on
Hey.
thank you guys. You know what? Let me give my own
Hey, with joint, man.
Yeah.
opening up with that too.
Word.
I can't wait
Dope.
for that. Just take over the airwaves, which is I'm sure it's
Oh
gonna be
man, I hope so. We'll see.
man.
We'll see. I'm just like really humbled to be part of the thing, because I really believe in Dave, man. And,
Yeah, man.
you know, so it's like to be a part of it was cool.
And I feel like also the music that we all creating, it's a void.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with the more like the Davies and the J. Coles, the more they keep kicking the doors down, the more we'll be able to have more of
Yep.
that substance.
Exactly.
More music to share to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who do you guys have your eyes and ears on right now, artist wise? Like, is there anyone right now that you're feeling like, damn, like I need to lock in with this person? Like,
Yeah, there's out of the young kids batch, I would say Smokey Margella.
okay, yeah,
I think he's super.
I see him
dope.
popping up.
We just recently started working with BG Perico.
Okay.
on the West Coast. I think
Oh,
he's
he's
super
dope.
He
Yeah.
reminds me of Easy.
He reminds me
Yeah.
of Easy and Quick.
That's
Yep.
dope.
Oh, is that who we
Yo,
listened to?
yeah.
Yeah. He remind.
Just
Yo, I
collaborated-
like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
collaborated with my boy Polly Boy, me, Grandz, Mike.
Yeah.
We got to join with him and Rob Stone.
Mhm.
And just going out there and traveling and hear the different sounds
Yeah.
of the coast.
Perico's my favorite, man.
I just learned about him I'm gonna say 6 months ago when he came down to New York.
Yeah.
That goes back to what you were saying earlier about just building with new artists.
Yep.
And I never heard his music, but I liked his energy, and the people he was around was really, honorable people. So me and Grant started working with him. We worked with him and his producer Polly Boy, and to work with him first and then go out there and see the love that he get, it was super dope.
Amazing. So like you guys are in this kind of unique position because we talk a lot about, and I believe we talked about this when you guys first came on the podcast, but the idea of like artist development and really building with an artist early on, and you guys are kind of seeing the fruits of your labor with Dave. So like what kind of comes next sort of after this? Like, are you guys looking to like really develop like another artist, or are you really just like kind of focused on Dave? Like what's the plan?
We're definitely focused on Dave's album. That's priority, but also finding out who's the next thing. Like who's the next Lonzo Ball. Like
Yeah.
that's what
Word.
I always want to know. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from New York, but I think as a producer, you should be a nerd at that aspect of your craft where you want to know who's the next prospect coming out, going to Duke, and then being the first round pick. And through my manager Wayno, I feel like we caught a diamond in the rough working with Dave, and we also developed Fred the Godson a couple years prior from Dave, and we learned a lot from that situation. We stopped working after he became a freshman, and to my producers, a lot of the times we get impatient, either the artist or producer, in the development of the process.
Yep.
And sometimes when an artist sees a little success, they might steer off and want to work with the A-listers.
Right.
And then me and Grandz always talk about that. And it's like you leaving the nest.
Yeah, you can't have misconception, man.
Yeah.
Dave never left the nest, and he stood grounded with his producers.
Right.
And I feel like the results show in the music.
Yep.
And in comparison, me and Fred still work together, but once he became a freshman, it was completely different. You started working with Puff, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
the sonics changed.
Changed too
So
much.
The fact that Dave is actually grounded with his producers and building and bringing in new talent along, and you know yourself, a veteran, I feel like it's a great opportunity, and it's a piece of the formula of what like the Bad Boys and the Rough Riders.
Right.
A lot of those legacies that were built on creating a sound.
How did you guys meet Dave East?
We met Dave through Wayno.
Through Wayno.
Yeah,
Oh,
I met Dave
okay.
about 4 or 5 years ago, I would say. He had just finished his Gemini tape, and we actually started vibing with Dave at the end of Black Rose, which is the song called The Offering, and becoming the intro. And we shot videos at my mom's house.
Nice.
We was all just, you know, believing in each other and just figuring out ways to blow, you know, to blow the situation up. And I think after The Offering, we just was like, yo, the music this kid Dave created, and the energy and the sound and the appreciation we was getting for it, we just decided like, yo, we're just gonna stop shopping beats,
Work with you.
sit in the lab, and for the next 3 years just devote our time into developing this sound.
See, you know what's so interesting about that is because any other person that would have been in that position, and understandably so, let me get a beat. I need 500 though, and then Dave might say, you know what, I can't afford that right now, so let me part ways and good luck, let me find someone else. That could have changed like history. That could have changed the whole trajectory of all of you guys.
And the shit was a marriage. Like, if you had $10, you had $10, we putting that together, we getting food, we gonna get some weed, we gonna just lock in and nobody's leaving.
Right.
Crazy.
We did that for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what kind of helps you guys today, is like to keep building with him and being like those first people that he calls, is like the relationship that you built. Like, you know, you ate together, you starved together, you put your coins together. So it's like he understands where he came from, you know, from the difficulties, and he understands where his team has come from and what y'all built, you know, so it.
And then, you know, we all had our own family issues. You know, my mom
Of course,
and I feel like at the time that happened, that's when everything was in motion. So that helped me cope with a lot, you know, dealing with my mom's death. So I think just everybody that was involved, because we all stood together throughout all the adversities to get where we at.
Yeah, rest in peace, Mama Buda. I know it's like, I lost my pops 2010. It's tough, but you know, they're watching over us, man. They're up there like,
A&Rs, man.
yeah, they A&R'ing us, man. They are A&R'ing us, bro. Yeah. But it's a blessing, man. And like, I think I say it time and time again, but you guys are like a great example of like what kind of like successful pathway you can take as a producer. Because there's a lot of producers out here that are grabbing the bag early, and you can't really like knock them for that to a certain extent. You got to find what works for you. You know what I mean?
And in your journey, you know, sometimes you get discouraged, like, damn, because, you know, real life hits.
Yeah.
He has a family. We all have families. And it's like, throughout this journey, you might see a producer get one hit and get a $10 million publishing deal his first year making beats. But meanwhile, you got to understand your process, that it's a marathon, it's not a race.
Yep.
The turtle always wins. Yep. Regardless of how fast them bunnies is running around, the turtle always wins the race. And I feel like when you look at your career like a canvas, you look at the end picture in a better way than you just worrying about the next hit.
Speaking of looking at the end canvas, I think that's important too. So JoJo, I want to ask you first, and I want you guys to go. You know, if you envision JoJo Beatz, right? Let's go 5 years, right? So in was it 2018? So in the year, I can't believe we're in the
2023.
In the year 2023 in the future,
right? 2020 is gonna be some shit.
When fucking flying cars exist. In the year 2023, right? Like, what are you envisioning like life to be like in 2023 for you?
Well, definitely living off of me producing. That's one of my biggest
Like
visions.
specifically, like living off of like,
Just
you know, I mean, I got a little one bedroom apartment, or living off of like I own an
music in
island,
general.
and, you know what I mean?
It could be placements or like, you know, as you said, there's other outlets out there. Like as far as even what they do, steel sessions. I want to help producers also. You know, I just want to tell a producer that's possible coming
Right.
from that 4 square wall room. You know what I'm saying? So. That's
How's
why
your room gonna look then, though?
Right.
It's definitely gonna be different.
This guy's gonna
It's
have
gonna be a room inside of a room.
hologram room inside a room,
It's gonna be
hologram.
a
10
jacuzzi in
rooms
the
and a
closet.
2023.
He's gonna have a masseuse and shit.
Masseuse in
massaging
the
his
closet.
trap.
Myself,
She's gonna
though.
fall out with the massage chair. It's
gotta-
already gonna be a lady.
The entire crib is just one big hot tub, just swimming
Yeah.
everywhere.
The living room
kitchen.
is a
all
pool.
the 10,000 hours we put in, I feel like it's well deserved for us producers. You know.
Oh yeah,
Too
oh
many
yeah,
hours,
Soon.
yeah. All
saying.
right. So what about you, Buddha? All right, Grandz, you go first.
I mean,
2023. What's Grand's life like right now?
just simple, man. As long as my family's straight,
Mhm.
as long as we got our
Word.
own crib, the kids are straight, and you know, a little bit of luxurious things here and there.
Yeah.
Nice
But,
car.
All right, what
Yeah.
kind? What kind? Let's go specific. Let's say, all right, let's say you're at the point where you have, you've signed a $5 million publishing deal, paid your taxes, everything's done, and you have about $500,000 of disposable income. Like you could totally do whatever you want with like $500,000. What would you do?
Damn, I definitely get my pops a car
Hey,
because my father's been supporting me like heavy.
get that whip.
First bought me like my first drum machine, my first
Dope.
keyboard.
Flying cars will definitely exist by then.
Definitely.
2023.
I would buy him a car. That would be the first thing I'd do.
Tight,
Yeah.
Nice.
tight.
Gotta
All right,
take care
Blue.
of
You're
that.
gonna buy a lot more shit than that.
Yeah.
This guy's spending heavy, man.
Oh, he put you on blast.
You're gonna buy a Tesla.
Why did I say
He's
Tesla?
spending his
Tesla.
money though. I ain't gonna say he. I mean,
True.
he's smart.
He spends it
Yeah.
smart.
Definitely. He taught me a lot, and just that's my big brother. So I learned a lot from Grandz.
Mm-hmm.
5 years from now, Steel Sessions will be a global workshop. Either for Interscope, one of the major labels.
So an executive at a label.
Yeah, absolutely
Mhm.
running the A&R department. We're gonna be doing multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a definitely. I would love to have a nonprofit organization company.
Dope.
But also like doing studies on cancer, using
Mm.
cannabinoid and CBDs and all that.
That's dope.
That's dope.
Would you open up a dispensary of some sort or kind of
We
something else?
actually in the
Okay,
works of-
hey.
a strain called Mama Buddha.
Hey.
That's fire. That's
Mother of all
fire.
strands. I like that. Wait, just
Oh.
a
Yeah.
random side
Wait,
note.
is that
Did she
breaking
smoke?
news right now?
Yeah.
Did she? Did she ever
Damn.
pump?
It's called the Medicinal Movement. It's a collaboration
That's
with them.
fire.
Wow.
That's so
A
beautiful.
lot
The
of people
mother
know
of
my
all
mom
strings.
was heavy into smoking. She loved she had her lifestyle.
Yeah,
But after beating cancer, she was already into like cannabis.
right.
A lot of people don't know she passed away on 4/20 at 4:20 p.m.
No.
Wow.
Rest
Wow.
in peace,
Know
man.
that. So
Wow.
Wow.
I'm
that's-
actually in development. Hopefully it'll take within less than a year, but we got to see how to harvest and then.
Oh,
but,
God bless, man.
that was meant
it's
to
in
be.
development. Yeah.
Holy
That's
cow.
meant to
I
happen.
want to use that and and just help do research into helping people find the cures for that and get cured because a lot of in the medical field they don't really consider cannabis the way they do because of
Yeah, it's
Right.
they don't even look at it really as alternative
It's all
medicine
right.
that
Yeah.
works.
But 2 weeks prior of her dying, I was actually on the hunt for CBD oil, and I had friends family members who suffered from like leukemia stage 4 and were actually cured within like 3
From the
months
oil.
of consuming the oil.
Wow.
So I wasn't as lucky, but I want to make sure that other people have that access, whether if you have the funds for it or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's like stuff that you can like get on like the black market
Yeah.
kind of thing
Right.
too.
And I don't know, man. I just feel like hip hop has an influence.
Mhm.
We could also shock the medical field and lobby it and make
I
sure
agree.
that these resources are available.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, listen, I think we're kind of, I think 2017 was proof that like health and like, with lean and all this stuff is
Yeah,
like,
gotta go.
yo, this is like a big kind of
Yeah.
shockwave in hip hop. Like,
It is.
like we're kind of headed in dangerous
But
territory.
it's also showing the hip hop's age.
Yep.
Because we've never we didn't get to see the effects of Wu-Tang after all them years apart.
Yeah.
We didn't get
Right.
to see the effects of Cypress Hill and all these groups when they was touring and all that. So now in the social media era, we're
That's
getting
true.
to see the
Speak
effects of the hip hop lifestyle.
That's
Right.
true.
And it's just sad that a lot of younger people are being affected publicly about it.
Yeah.
Because we don't get to see like a lot of our elders, what are they going through. But like, I might get shot for this one day, but I hope one day hip hop has healthcare, bro.
Yeah.
Like it deserves
Yeah,
that.
that's
Nah,
He said I
Nah,
might get shot.
100%.
That's a fact.
On some
Sure.
hip hop shit, he might.
How
get
do you
shot just for
envision
saying
that, though?
Yeah.
How do I envision that? The reason what made me come up with the idea, because I remember Kool Herc was going through medical issues. Shout out to the legend Kool
Yep.
Herc. And corporate America and hip hop, they generate billions.
Of course.
Whether if it's being exploited the right way or the wrong way. We're the only profession that don't have benefits. Like you go to the NBA, this is a sport.
Yep.
You go to NFL, all of them are covered. A lot of these labels, I think all of us, eventually in the future, because obviously we're going to start seeing the effects of the music and drugs, the lifestyle.
Thanks,
I think
Buddha.
Eventually,
Yeah.
I think eventually we should figure out ways to where people that actually contribute and have contributed a serious amount of time to hip hop should be covered, man.
Should be covered.
That's a
Whether
good
it's
idea.
mental,
Yeah.
physical,
What's a big
Well,
mental?
we should- yeah.
Big mental thing.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully we move in that direction, and like
Eventually, you said 2023. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
it's
some time.
definitely
I'm not saying
gonna
right
be-
now.
We got
Definitely-
time.
All right, Trump.
Definitely not gonna be with that
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
But you know what? It does. It did. Is maybe not as like the completely same thing. But I remember when I think it was Pablo. When Kanye like had his like
yeah,
withdrawal.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't when Don did. It wasn't when Don did pass. It was like it was a little more recent. Like previously.
like 14, 15.
He had
Yeah.
a retainer from when he pulled out. It was like a thing, like something he signed in case he like lost his mind.
Right.
Pretty much
Crazy.
that money was like recouped. It was some program he went through, but I was like, how about that? Like
Right.
he was that prepared. Like it's already a lot because I think that had already happened when he was on tour when he found out his mom had passed and everything. So I think that probably was the situation that was like, I need to be more ahead of my mental and like take care of it just in case I gotta pull out a show or like
Right.
So I was like, you're onto something. I
Yeah.
don't think you should get shot for that, but I think everyone should definitely
Think
look
about
into that.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
It's
insurance
so
companies
good.
wouldn't want to cover today's artists? Or
Exactly.
today's producers?
Exactly.
Somebody
Yeah.
should run to be doing that right now. Like all these
also,
little
I
rappers.
think-
Illmind, man.
Yo, listen. I think the deeper thing now that to prepare for all of this is like we have no choice but to take matters into our own hands, right? So, like, I mean, obviously my fiance is a nutritionist, so I've learned so much from her about health and like eating and like the stuff that we're consuming and the lifestyle too, though. Like, having those late night sessions. Sometimes we have to, but
Yo.
if you have a session from like 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. and it's 4 a.m. and you're hungry, might not want to eat fried food. You know what I mean?
Hit that crown up.
And you're right. Like hip hop is so young. This lifestyle is so young. 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're going to start to see the effects, and we're starting to see them already.
Yeah.
So I think there's stuff that we can do individually as people, like our conscious decisions on what we consume that, can really just get a jump start from it. You know what I mean? In addition to just the insurance, though.
Yeah,
So-
what's interesting too, and it's funny. I would never thought about this until Buddha said it. Like, if you're ASCAP, right? There's ASCAP, BMI. ASCAP, and a lot of producers don't even know this, or an artist, period, don't even know this. But ASCAP has like benefits. Like there's different companies that give you discounts.
Right.
Or that give you benefits of some sort because
Right.
you're an ASCAP member.
Right.
So you can go to the website, ASCAP. Yeah. So like you can
Is
go to
that through
Guitar Center.
Freelancers
Trying
Union?
to tell you that.
Freelancers Union is something
It's
different, but
different.
again, Freelancers Union is
Yeah.
something else that producers should
but
do.
Actors
But
Guild
the
have
rate-
insurance, right?
SAG,
right?
yeah, but that's you have
But
to pay to
the
get into
issue-
that.
the
and
issue
you
with
have
it-
a certain amount of
It should-
hours.
that if it was ran like that, definitely should be where they have to pay. A fee.
But the issue with healthcare in this country, though, and listen, I'm not a professional, but what I do know from my experience is that, if you get an insurance plan, if you're like a producer, you're a freelancer, right? You don't have like a job. You have one of two choices. You either, find coverage through the freelancers union, and then you end up finding a really shitty plan that you have to pay at least $500 a month for.
Right.
At least
Which, like, a lot, you know, 500 is a lot of money, and like a lot of people can't afford an additional 500 per month. And if you don't do that and you're not covered, then, you know, IRS comes in and they're like, we're gonna penalize you
$700.
10%. No, I think it's 5% of what you generated income-wise that you owe them because you don't have insurance. So you're either way, you have to pay them. So it's just such the system. There's something wrong with the system.
Yeah.
We should definitely
You know what I mean?
smoke
Gotta
a
do
gun
something.
over that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. man.
Facts.
It's deep. Anyway, yeah, but 2023 is gonna be
That's a great question,
Lit.
by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was dope.
hell yeah. So upcoming producers, man, definitely just try to put the work in, and you know, again, what we were talking about earlier, get with the artist, develop the artist, but then also you got to balance out making money. Let's talk about that for a second. Generating income is this huge fucking mind fuck in our world. It's like, when do you develop an artist, and when do you sell a beat for $200-300 so you can at least pay the rent? Or do you keep a day job until you save up enough money? I mean, there's a million scenarios, right? So I want to ask you guys, kind of, you know, Buda and Grandz, you guys first, like, how did you kind of deal with that hump of like balancing that with Dave, and then like making money here, and then doing this here and there, and then, you know, Grandz, I know you have a family, you have kids. How did you guys deal, man?
Well, for me, I was lucky because my wife, she worked, so she kind of like held it down a little bit for us.
Nice.
I tried to sell beats on the side and do whatever we could, but I had some help. So everyone's situation is different. Like
Right.
you said, you can get a part-time job,
Yep.
or you could sell beats online. So it's really like what works for you.
Yeah.
Shit, but you had some jobs though, brother. I remember. You had some odd jobs, man.
Yeah.
And you know, we've in the beginning process, we was in school while working, and then we went and while we was like, after we finished school, well, when we was in school, we had a song with 50 Cent. All right, cool. We know we want to be producers. This is what we gonna do.
That was like validation.
Boom, it validates us. Now we finished school and we have to pay rent. You have to pay Con Ed. So we were still working. I was a substitute teacher. A lot of people don't know that, for
Dope.
like 6-7 years.
Dope.
And Grandz was working like limo service, driving, construction, all types of different jobs. And one thing we always kept was a regimen, a schedule. So no matter what, religiously, Fridays and Saturdays, what was it, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, we would always work.
Wow.
So there was times I would be teaching in school from 7 to 4, then go home and change and shower, then come to Queens from the Bronx, take the 44 bus all the way to Flushing, and we would bang out. And then there'll be times I'll leave the studio with the same clothes on,
Go straight to
my students.
wow.
Yo, Mr. You got the same polo on.
Don't worry about
Go
it.
right
Shit.
to school, sleep during my lunch break, and I did that for like 6-7 years.
Crazy.
So how long did you guys
Wow.
keep that schedule going? And like, was it hard being consistent, being
It
that
was
you both
years.
had a
I would
lot
say,
going on?
I didn't stop working 2 days after my mom's passed. I got fired.
Wow.
It's
So
like
once
all
I got fired, I was like, you know what? We're going full time, and we was already going full time with it.
Yep.
Because Grandz is a work machine, so I have to keep up with him as well. And I feel like once we took that leap of faith and was doing it full time, that's when everything came together.
Yeah.
And that goes back to Mama Buddha and, you know, our faith and all that. And
Wow.
Dave's timing was perfect. Nas signing him. Everything just happened to work at the right time.
It's like a perfect storm
Yeah,
almost.
so I would say if most producers, if you have a 9 to 5 and you have to maintain and you got a family, please do that.
Yeah.
But you can also develop a demand.
Yep.
And I would say that's what we would do. Like certain artists we would come up with, like we would get paid for some artists and we would get paid for some of them we wouldn't. So like we would do a lot of Banks and 50 stuff, right? We was on Hunger for More too. We was on his album, but on the side we was doing a lot of mixtape stuff too. And sometimes you wouldn't get paid for it.
Yep.
But we would utilize that as promo.
Yep.
And that promo would drag in, we always call it the brown bag clients,
Yep.
which means the independent artists,
Yeah.
the drug dealer artists, you know,
Right.
all of them, and they want to pay. And one good thing about production is that the more relevant you are, the more traffic. You know that.
Yeah.
The
Of
more
course.
people want to
Yeah.
work with you,
Yeah.
the more interest they have because they see you working. And I feel like a lot of our placements, paid or non-paid, whether if the person was known or we helped that artist become known, that would draw a lot of
Yeah.
traffic into us.
Yeah, so
and
those
help the build.
placements acted as like resume builders, so you weren't getting paid at the moment, but you technically did get paid eventually.
Like say for instance, out the year you get 10 placements.
Yeah.
You get paid from 7. Let's just say they're a month apart. In between those weeks where, let's just say you get paid in January, but you won't get paid again until April. Those months in between is when we will have the independent artists
Right.
working.
Yep.
And that's how you maintain your
Yep.
bills and
Yep.
and build your catalog and buy equipment and reinvest in yourself.
Exactly.
And travel and go out
Yeah.
to LA and go to these conferences and go to these studio sessions and we would just go to Atlanta just to go.
Just to go.
We would go
See
to
who you
LA
bump
just to
into.
go.
Yep.
Like my first time in LA, remember? I went with $80 in my pocket.
Wow.
I didn't care because I'm like, I'm with Grandz. We got a
Fact.
bag full of fire. We're gonna
Yeah.
end up
Yeah.
landing something. Our first day there, we had a session with Nipsey Hussle.
See?
And that's
See?
it.
And then that same session, a year later, ended up becoming the single for Jada's album, which is Ain't Nothing New featuring Neo and Jada.
See?
Fire.
So it's like certain things you gotta sacrifice, believe and move with faith,
Yeah.
and it's gonna work.
I think what helped with you guys is having a regimen.
Yeah, man.
That helps.
Yeah.
You got to go out of your way.
Sports.
Yeah, like you.
And then
you
seeing you guys, I'm sorry to cut you off, but then
Yeah.
like seeing you getting inspired from you guys is like, how can you not want to work harder?
yeah,
Dope, man.
yeah. I love it, man.
And you know,
I would be at I standard bumping into all these producers. And the next day you'll see their songs come
Word.
out or their songs feature #1 on iTunes. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, we gotta go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's good. Like you guys' approach is like very much like you're feeding off of the energy and the inspiration from other people. You're like, and it's kind of like LeBron. Like, you know, who does LeBron look up to? He looks up to like Jordan, Kobe. He's like really just wants to put himself in that league. You know what I
Right.
mean? You gotta do
Bro, I
that.
see Dre all the time. And I'm like, yo, I love you, Dre, but you competition.
Yeah.
You food, man. I love you for real. I want to work with you guys, but I also want to be in your place.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to be there as well. I just caught a brain fart, but there was one thing I wanted to say is that all this time of us working, it was never a monetary thing.
Yeah.
It was just about us being great.
Yep.
And the more you want to be great, I feel like the craft pays you back.
The craft pays you back.
Guys,
Guys, what have
keep
I been
working.
talking about on this fucking podcast?
Yeah.
Like
Have
you
fun,
either want to
keep-
be great
Yep.
or you are content with, you know, selling beats for here and there, $50 here, which is cool. But then we were talking about how not everyone wants to be great.
Exactly.
Which is
Right.
also
With that.
okay.
People just want to pay bills.
People want to pay
Yeah.
bills, which is
And
fine.
I love the fact that Buda and Grandz were relocating themselves. Like, okay, yeah, we're in New York now. Yo, let's just go to fucking Atlanta for 3
Yeah.
days.
You
And
used to see
then
it.
you go there and you put it on the gram in Atlanta, and then the gram, I'm sure that's probably what happened when I went to LA. You probably posted on social, or you hit up 1 or 2 homies, and you guys know how social media, they might not
yeah.
like it, but everybody sees
But
it.
everyone's
Yeah.
gonna look at it.
You know what I'm saying? So then all of a sudden your DMs like, oh, y'all out here, yo, I'm in the session. Pull up,
Yeah.
boom.
And artists naturally want to work with somebody that they see working.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yep.
Yes.
Whether they aren't, like, for instance, hypothetically speaking, Drake seen you working.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He's not going to just pick up on somebody that's not working. So it's like, the more you're active, people want to be around that.
No, 100%. No, the thing I
If you're
learned,
30 a game, somebody don't want to play with you.
listen,
Yes.
even
Of
though
course, bro. Of course.
even though this is BLAPCHAT, I rarely like talk about like myself because I'm just so like it makes me feel weird. But like
Same
yeah, like I in my position, it's like it took me years to grow to the point where it's like yeah, he's like Illmind is like part of like the now, but like man. It took so long to do
Yeah,
that,
'cause you
and
beat
because it's
yourself
like
up, man.
Yeah.
it's all those
Remember those
little
days.
wins, all those little wins that kind of gain. You know what I mean? Like me meeting Boy Wonder in 2011, and like he was hot still back then, and then like just randomly like, yo, we should probably work. And then we started working, and then I caught the Drake place, and then Cole, and then like it kind of bubbled from there, and then the Kanye shit. So it's like, but so many years before that of like the same thing you guys did, like building and like investing and sacrificing, and then all of a sudden
Planting the
you're-
seeds.
Yeah,
Yo.
but you're right though. It's like the perception of it is, okay, yeah, this person is working, they've done this, this, and this, and then you can use that as, you know, ammunition and leverage.
Social currency.
Yeah, social currency.
I wanted to tap into, which I agree with you. It's like producers, I think, you know, we've all had a point where we've beaten ourselves up about one thing or another.
But I was going to say, too, it's also our fault, too. And I'm not going to say all our fault, but I kind of you see how in college basketball, you win the NCAA, you cut the net. Oh, I'm going to Disney World.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what MTV Cribs was. That's what all these shows was showing it like, hey, you make 2 beats and 1 hit record. Buy this bitch. They set us up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like now this is the generation where they starting to see like, yo, you really got to put
reality.
in work.
But I think even, you know, even social media still sets you up. Like, you know,
It does.
people
Shows you
still
everyday
deal.
life.
Yeah, still, you know, you still deal with that. Like I have that conversation all the time where it's like, you know, people only show the positive on social media versus what they really going through in the negative. So it's kind of like, you know, they're showing you what they want you to see.
Yep.
So, you know, I think, you know, that kind of discourages people and has people beat themselves up a lot.
That's
too,
why
but-
I always say, man, with the social media thing, just follow people that inspire you.
Yeah,
Like
unfollow.
all those accounts
I started
that are
doing
useless that make you
Yeah.
fucking depressed.
If every time you
Just
look at it,
mute
you're
them.
like, why am just click, just
unfollow
unfollow
them.
right
That's
there.
one thing I always wanted compared to our peers. I feel like this is the era where like people are like humble.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't obviously you get your arrogant people out there, but to actually see humble people winning, and damn, I could be like that guy. Like I feel like that's what Steph Curry brought to the league. He felt he made everybody believe, based off his size, that anybody can make that. NBA.
Yeah.
That he's so relatable to people that people love him, and I feel like that's where it should be at.
Yeah.
Man.
I wanted to tap into like you guys' creative process.
Yeah.
Like, you know, creating as a duo. You know, how is
We've created as a duo in the studio.
Yeah, we have. But just the fact that you guys have been working for so many years, obviously you already have like your rhythm, you know, when it comes to working. But, you know, when you guys were starting to like collab together, how was that? Like who was starting to beat?
Yeah. How'd
Who
that
did
go?
the melodies? How was that vibe? Like,
Yeah, we always just worked off a vibe pretty much. Like we never.
You guys
had a
met in
set
school?
way. We met in
Yeah,
school
right.
and just like from the beginning we hit it off. Like I don't know, like
Yeah, like did you
Who had the studio? Like, when you guys like, yo, I got a studio at the crib.
I had a studio. It was in Queens. It was in Flushing.
You told me how to use
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an example. So
I think Grandz is being a little
I know, listen, we're gonna do
being a little too humble right
we're
now.
gonna
see
go
me?
specific.
Y'all see me super loud, animated. Grandz is the secret weapon.
He's a
bro.
secret ninja
Yeah.
in the back,
He's just
right?
like, yeah.
I'm the body, he's Cran.
Okay, so check this out. Check this out. Dave East, Paranoia 2, track number 14, Never Been. Okay? She's fire. So it's Buda Grandz, JoJo, and Beat Butcher. Shout to Beat Butcher. I wish he
just
lived in New
talking
York. Does he live in New York?
He's in
He
LA
just
now.
moved to LA.
He moved to LA.
Should
Damn.
be here soon. We gotta get him up here.
Beat
Yeah,
Butcher
let's get
sent
him up
me.
here.
Beat Butcher sent me some samples, man.
Got to?
Yeah, I didn't tell him what they were
I
for, but.
used one of your samples. Wait till you hear
Oh,
it.
good. Yeah, see? We collaborate, man. So there's a lot of collabo on this track. I just talked about this on my YouTube, how the hip hop is sort of moving in this direction of like more people collaborating. I'm all for it. I think it should continue to happen. Always gotta collaborate. So let's get specific with Never Been. Who did what?
I've never been. But we,
All right, so I remember that day we was in Philly, and I remember
He's at Jalil Studio.
yeah. Jalil
Okay, shout to
Studio.
Jalil.
Great with him.
So I
Dope.
remember doing the bass and the drums.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. And then Grandz was programming everything. I remember Buda doing the melody, and something happened with the sample though, right?
Yeah, that's when
Buda.
Butcher came in.
Okay.
It was an issue with the sample clearancing. So then, we called our other secret weapon, Mr. Beat Butcher.
He replayed it.
Mr. Elliott. And
Hey.
he replayed it. There was actually another record that couldn't make it because we didn't have enough time. So hopefully it makes it on the project.
Yeah.
But that was all 4 of us.
Wow.
It started out in Philly and then ended up finishing, what was that, in Queens, right?
Teamwork, man. Teamwork make the dream work. See, like if the collabo would have never happened, that track wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Very possible.
That's
Very
the
possible.
beauty.
And shout out to my boy Sanchez and Cedar on the beat. They also collaborated with us on What Made Me.
Uh-huh.
And we had troubles with the horn section as well. So we was able to
They came in, revamped it.
Absolutely.
That's
Dope.
why it's good to know people and connect, because you'll be able to do stuff like that.
You have to. That's why we preach on this podcast,
Yeah.
like connect with your peers.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be like superstar producers. It's like, nah, like people that are on my level.
basically.
You know what I mean? In tune.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You don't feel like we missed out as far as like, you see how this era we're all collaborative, but you don't feel like we missed out on never seeing Kanye, Pharrell, and all these dudes on one joint or a collective album? And
I think we did, because back then I feel like the process and the sort of like overall mentality was just completely different than us. Like,
Right.
it was more
you know, when you
competitive.
very much so. It was more like let me
don't
see
you
what I
go-
could bring.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me bring my shit. Which, you know, on the flip side, the results of that was some classic ass hip hop. You know, but it's just things are different now.
You
know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
that shortens the longevity. I mean, they're all still rocking, obviously, but like the longevity of certain artists.
I think we're still in it to really know for sure. You know what I mean? But you know, people have been collaborating for years. You know, it's just it's a thing. But really, at the end of the day, it's like what you do in addition to that. Because I don't think like placements by itself will get you the notoriety at all. You know what I mean? There's guys out there with crazy placements that no one knows
Right.
Don't know
what
them
they look
basically,
like,
Yep.
which is also totally fine. Like, I mean, look at my man Frank Dukes.
Yep.
This guy is everywhere.
Peace.
Man.
He's a beast, but like he could walk down the street in Toronto for the most part, and people, well, you know, whatever. No, I got the #1 song in the country, Havana. You know what I mean?
Right.
Camila, you know what I mean? Like I did that,
Man behind the board.
right?
That's it.
So you know, so what's next for you guys, JoJo? Let's start with you. What are you working on, man? Like that you can mention?
Me and my boy Mike Cuz are actually working on a project produced solely by us. And
Nice.
trying to get some dope names on there.
So like a compilation
Yeah,
project with
exactly,
you and
yeah,
Mike.
yeah. Yep. And,
Dope, man.
Just trying to work. You know, as I said, this is still new to me, so I'm still trying to get familiar with everything. So
Mhm.
I'm just trying to work. That's all.
Well, you're around the right people. You got a good manager. You
Appreciate
around
that.
these guys.
Illmind, Atlas.
Yeah, man. You know what I
Get better
mean.
than
You got a
this for
home
sure.
here. You know what I mean. So you can hit us up anytime.
Appreciate that, man.
And
That's
just that's good, man.
that's basically what I see. I'm still here, man. It's my
Amazing.
first year, kind of in the door, so
That's
got
it.
a lot of work to do.
It's only gonna grow. 2023, when I hit you, be like, yo, talk to my assistant.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Fact.
I'm on my
He'll be
flying
like,
car
email
right now.
me.
You know that.
Shoot me that email. All right, what about you guys? What's next that you could mention? I know you guys got a bunch of shit probably,
Yeah,
but
Dave is working on his album, so that's
okay, still digging.
And
Dope.
he's working with as many artists as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Port of Miami too, Rick Ross.
Ross.
Dope.
And we got a few artists we working with.
Mm-hmm. Ross.
We got Port of Miami too. Dave's album. We're working with a bunch of new guys, new artists coming up. Kat Raquel, Bits of Blood.
She's dope.
Cat.
Yeah, Kat's on Maybach Music 5. She's actually dropping her project second, third quarter.
Nice.
We're actually we have a song on the new UFC video game for EA Sports.
Nice.
With,
All right.
and I think JoJo on there.
They hook you up with the game though?
Nah, not yet.
Put that shit in the contract.
I doubt it.
I need a system.
that one.
Yo.
I need 4 copies.
Yo, that was a good idea. We should've said that.
Non-deductible.
Still gotta buy
Word.
that one.
And I want my upfront.
Word.
Right.
Still Sessions is, it's an ongoing thing. Hopefully,
I gotta pull up to the next one,
Please
man.
do.
Yeah.
February.
We
17th
should
and
pull up.
18th.
17th
pulling up.
and 18th. It's All-Star Weekend, but us
Oh,
New Yorkers need
man,
that over
come
here
on.
anyway
Yeah.
from our producers out there.
Yeah, BLAPCHAT got to pull up to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RSVP
I
or
think I
like.
should do a podcast.
I wanna
from
say,
there.
I wanna
we
know.
should.
That
We
would be
should.
ill.
Hey, that's kind of
I
lit.
think that-
Maybe we
lit.
do a BLAP a crap segment.
Now listen,
that
if we
night.
try to hit JoJo up and he don't answer the phone, Perfection Works at Perfection Works
JoJo
is
gonna
over
be
at
hitting me with the
Engine Room. You can hook us
assistant.
up, right, Perfection?
Yeah.
Can you make it happen? Can I get a little VIP pass? Can I get a little wristband?
Shout out to my homie Rico Beats out of Brooklyn. That's my dog right there. We just collaborated on a
Dope.
banger for Designer's album.
Amazing.
He was out in LA and then he came back to New York.
We went out
Man,
to LA to
waiting for
collaborate with him out
Designer.
there.
Designer gotta come. Yeah.
his
Dope.
album's fire.
Dope.
I'm like impressed with it. We also been working with Young and May. Collaborated on Amadeus.
Yeah, I was thinking about how that shit
Amadeus.
happened. Yeah.
Amadeus is
So we got some
Yeah.
vibes
Damn.
with her. Who else? Axel Leon. He just signed with Loud. So a bunch of artists, like new guys we've been trying to work with and just build. And One thing I'm gonna say, we're gonna see a lot more female artists.
Yeah.
Need that.
Yeah.
Need that.
There's a couple out of New York that
I've seen a few that are
we've been
dope.
working
And female
with.
producers.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Fact.
yeah.
Who have you been working with?
Oh yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
we're about to go down.
Abby got a joint that we produced too. I'm trying to get her back in the studio.
Come on,
She gotta go do 100 sit-ups, you know, that makes it.
Hey, that's not a bad alternative.
alternative.
It's still
You could do
productive.
the sit-ups in the studio.
You could.
Yeah.
Yo.
But how about funny thing is when I first connected, I connected with Buda through a thread. Shay.
Oh, word.
Wow, when was this?
Shay, my mom met Shay
That's
online.
crazy. Wow.
And she was like, I'm gonna put everybody in the thread. She was like, I gotta get you with Buda. I'm gonna connect you with Buda. And she put us in the thread.
The last time
That's
me
It
and
was a
Buda-
minute ago, and I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
hey. That was just like, you know, you finally see somebody in person. I was like,
That's tight.
oh.
The last
word.
time me and Buda scheduled a session,
I canceled.
he curved me.
I canceled. I canceled and apologized and tell you whatever any other day.
So,
If he canceled and apologized, that's really good
And she took
etiquette
it-
these
See,
days.
this is the
So
behind the
for
scenes
those-
shit you don't see.
so for those
Yeah.
listening,
She gave me a hard time.
Yeah.
She's been giving me a hard time.
so for
Yeah.
those listening,
See, this is why producers didn't work in the 90s together. This is exactly why, guys. 'Cause, you know what I
Nah,
mean?
we
Shit like
done.
this.
2018, hopefully I can get some of
2018.
Right.
some of
Hopefully.
that Buda and Grandz time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Same.
Well, look,
And
listen.
thank you for your help and
Of course.
helping Steel
Yeah.
Sessions
It's all
grow,
love.
too.
Yeah, definitely want to come to Steel Sessions. We'll
Yeah, I
100%
wanna
make
go.
that happen.
Really,
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen.
producer
I wanna be
spotlights.
one.
Yeah, let us know. Let me know. Let us
Yes.
know. But definitely, man, can't wait for all these records to drop. The designer, all this shit, man. Dave's new project. Definitely gonna be all fire, man. JoJo, man,
And you know
proud
we
of you
gotta
for sure.
Appreciate that.
We got it. We got to
Yes.
clap. We got to clap. I have hours of templates just waiting to just.
Ha.
We need that Buda and Grandz
Say that.
shit. You too,
Slap.
JoJo. We gotta make some shit, man.
Word.
Yeah.
crazy,
So we gonna work. But man, you guys want to partake in this blap or crap or what?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go for the jugular, man.
All right, we got time to do a few of these. So listen, guys, this is what we're gonna do right now.
Can they hear?
You want to use the bathroom?
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is blap or crap. So this is what we're gonna do. We are gonna go on our website that we helped build here. It's called beatthread.com, beatthread.com, and we are going to choose these beats on this website at random, and we're gonna play a snippet. And if we like the beat, we're gonna give you a blap, and if we don't, we'll give you a crap and give you a little bit of constructive criticism. And so if you want to submit to this segment, all you need to do is go to beatthread.com and then upload your beats. It's free to join, so create a profile. And when you upload your beat, make sure you hashtag blap or crap, BLAPORCRAP, and we're going to rock like that. So our first producer. Yeah, his victim when Atlas is here,
Yeah.
because he's a dick.
Shout out to producers working.
Through the speakers? Okay, cool. So let's do that. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Blap or crap. Here we go.
Sent or uploaded on the site.
Yeah. So they're all uploaded on beatthread.com.
See,
So
there's a lucky person today.
let's see. All right, so our first submission for today is Othello Productions.
Othello.
Othello.
Othello. Othello. Okay.
Othello Productions.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting, but I don't know.
It's different.
Keep your outlet. Sound like a frog. Right?
If he was gonna use that for the bass, he should have had something under it.
I'm not mad at the drums.
Definitely has potential. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you know.
I like the drums, but I'm not crazy about what's going on top of it. The chords. chords, but the beat itself, like this part,
It's not crap, but it could use some work.
yeah, it could use definitely some work.
Crap
It's
to
crap.
producers, man. They work
All right, that was Othello
Oh, no,
Productions with the track.
Can't have no heart.
Can't have no heart. Yeah, no heart.
All right, man. Listen, I'll start it off. I wasn't mad at it.
Right. You were
I
irritated at it though.
I'm just a little irritated. You know what I mean? It's like having breakfast and then like
It's not quite hitting.
you just had one too many eggs. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just like one of them.
I feel you. I feel that.
No, I like the drums. I did like the drums.
Yeah, I
The
like
kick
the
was
drums a
dope.
lot.
Drums were knocking. I like the pattern. I just some about that. I like sound like a
and
frog.
The weird,
a little frog joint.
eerie strings.
Yeah, I would like tweak that a little bit because the texture on that I think might throw some people off. But there was definitely something cool about it. So it wasn't like a complete trash beat to me. Like I think it definitely has potential, but I think there's some of the synths in there you could tweak a little bit and make it a little better. But
crap.
you know, that's gonna be a crap from me.
Yeah.
Glenn, what you think?
I feel the same way. I think
Yeah.
if he could you know take
Tweak it up
the
a little
melody, take the bass out, take
Yeah.
the strings out, try something else. It might be something there because I think the drums are really good. So it's a crap, but it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible.
So yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah, I'm
what's
gonna
up?
crap that.
All right.
Yeah, I would say just keep the drums and scratch everything else.
Redo it, right?
Melodies and
Was
stuff,
that melody was just it was
The frog.
The frog.
Yeah, the
What was it
sound
called?
selection
What
for
was the
that was
beat called?
terrible.
The beat was called Frog.
So let's call
It
it.
No, I'm just
was-
kidding. I'm just kidding.
That would have
No, it's
been
called Crazy Night.
okay.
What kind of night was that?
Kinda
That's like
do
a
sound.
crazy night on like
Coke.
On
maybe.
Percocet.
I was gonna go
It's a
for
super
something
crazy
like
night.
completely like maybe
Yeah.
shrooms or
Shrooms?
like
Yeah.
yeah maybe.
A little tricky.
Shrooms?
Or frog sashimi. You guys ever
Or
had
like
frog
bad
sashimi?
Molly. Like that sounds like that. Like a bad.
You guys know what frog sashimi is?
No, I've never had it.
Is
I've
it
only
when
had
the
salmon
frog is, like-
sashimi.
Yeah, so basically, I don't think they do this in America, but they'll take a frog and they'll put it in front of you and be like, they'll show you the frog. This is at a restaurant, and then basically they'll kill the frog in front of you.
And you're
then
eating
the
the
first
insides.
course is actually the heart, the beating. They call it beating heart frog. So I swear I'm not making this shit up. They take a shot. They take a cup, like a shot cup, and they put the heart in there, and it's like still beating, and that's their first course. They give it to you, you down it. So by the time you're done with the beating heart joint, then they serve you the plate of the actual frog sashimi. So it's like
And the frog is in the plate.
yeah, it's like just died, and the frog is cut open, and it's
Shaking.
basically
You know, I
raw.
actually seen
Raw frog. Yeah, there was a documentary.
I've seen a
documentary.
video. I've seen a
Yeah,
video
shit
of
is
a
true.
girl. Like
Yeah.
one of my interns showed me, and I was like, I think
Eating
I'm
a frog?
scarred. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so like I
It was like moving though. It was like
Yeah.
you know, it was like facing
Yeah.
up, and it was kind
Yeah.
of low key moving.
I
like
dissected
dying,
the frog
and she
in
was eating the
school.
inside.
I did that.
I did that.
Yeah.
And then we dissected the mini pig. Did you do that?
Nah, I didn't
No.
do that.
I didn't care.
Yo,
I've
started
never
with a
dissected
worm. It
anything.
went from like a
Cow eye.
worm
the worm
That
joint.
shit
to the
smelled like hell.
frog to like a fucking baby pig, bro.
Yeah, so
I couldn't believe they were having us do this in, in
baby
high school.
pig?
Yes.
that's
Word.
fucked up.
It was like
That's
it was like
illegal.
this big.
Do you know how cute baby pigs
I
are?
wonder if that's had
dude,
impact on kids.
I hated it.
Watching
I mean,
shit be dissected.
I couldn't believe they had kids
whole
doing
other
this in
topic.
high school. It's crazy.
Yeah,
They
we
showed
don't.
us.
Let's
They
have them
showed us
cut
an
away.
actual
Shit.
birth.
Yes.
Shout out to Delaware Valley up in Milford,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
look, what are we gonna do with all these dead cow heads? Like, I don't know. Give them to the school. Like, it's like,
Terrible.
really, that's what they did.
What'd you think, JoJo? Was the beat? Not the beating frog,
Ass.
I guess since you guys say it's crap, I'm gonna go crap. But
Okay.
it could, it still had potential at the end of the day. Like what I heard, I felt like it could be on like an MTV commercial, like something quick.
True
Like,
that.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that.
something
right.
just quick like that. But
Like
That's usually how we spare
I'm gonna
some
go
people.
with crap though for this one.
like
Yeah.
love
And
and
don't be
hip-hop.
shy. If we crap
No.
it,
No,
you
I'm
could
going
still
with
fucking blap it.
Love and hip hop. No, we won't do that to you again.
That's why you saw me. I was
That's not
like,
the right one.
She's like, not today, guys.
Yeah,
What
it gotta
you
be
guys
the
think,
vibe.
Buda and Grandz?
I thought it was crap.
Yeah, crap.
I'm
You gotta
sorry.
be straight up.
Yep.
Is either or. I feel like the chord.
Yeah.
The sound of it could have was a little
weird.
It was weird.
1996.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's
But
a really
the
good way to
vibe
put
of,
it.
like, the bounce of it was cool.
Yeah.
I feel like the drums was kind of stock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say crap.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the producer.
No, never. They, you know.
No
Don't be
disrespect.
shy.
Grandz, you want to come on,
Yeah.
Grandz?
Yeah, I'm gonna crap it too.
Okay.
Just as motivation though, because hopefully he hears that and he'll go even harder.
Oh, they
Oh
do.
yeah, they do. They love it.
They always
They
do.
love getting crap.
The drums was definitely there. And once you said frog, like I couldn't get that out of my ass.
My bad, yo. Frog sashimi.
Dead.
All right, we got time for one more, man.
One more.
Fuck, yeah. All right. This next one is by Anonymous. Hey, from Edmonton. All right.
So if it is bad,
All right, see how he flips it.
go somewhere good.
Get the sample on this one.
Oh, the hip hop arm.
It's a good hip hop one though.
You gotta bounce.
Yeah. Oh, like, fuck you.
All right.
Kind of, yeah.
Got to get it.
That was interesting. I'll start this one.
Started off at.
This was really. I like this. I like the sample. I did. I was very close to blapping this one. Close. I think. Damn, it was really good. But I wanted to hear when like it had that bass rhythm going right, where there was no vocal on top of it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Let me see where it goes. And then when it changed, the bass rhythm changed too, which I loved. But then the sample came in on top of it, and it took away. Like if there was no sample that whole time, maybe the sample just came in on quote the chorus, and you left like a good 16 open with the bass switch up after the first 8, and then
I
boom,
agree, man.
another 8 of the bass switch up, and then bring the 8, bringing that
Right.
chorus with that sample.
Yeah.
That would have been a blap, 100%.
Wow.
Very close though, but I was rocking to that. I was. Who was that? What's the name?
That was Anonymous.
Anonymous. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Close.
on the fence with that. That was close. I think what you might want to try to do, Anonymous, is the part where the sample comes in, like maybe the hook part. Like the bass line in the hook part is ill.
Fire.
So what you want to do is maybe do like a low pass filter and just take the bass line in the verse and then maybe re-chop like that little sample part, and then you could take the lows out of the sample and then layer them together and maintain that like bass line from the sample. It was hard for me to hear like what kind of drums he layered on there. It sounded like a lot of the original drums were still there. He
Right.
just like put another snare in there,
Yep.
which I think was like kind of a cool idea. But if you do the filter with the bass, you're gonna have to put new drums. So I would just keep fucking with it. But like Alice is right. I think the bass melody was ill, but you want to take those vocals out in the verse. So that
And
you
then
can
when it
have-
switched, that shit was hard.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
was like,
Yeah, it was close,
But
man.
then the chop on top of it was just killing me. I wanted it to be open. You know,
exactly. So
more the track.
Yeah,
So-
I'm a crap it. It was close. What you think, Glenn?
I'll crap it, but this is what I was talking about when Ski Beats was on last week.
Yep.
When the beat, all right, technically it's like cool and it's chilling, but then it starts boiling down to like preference. I think for me, like the sample chops were like cool enough. I don't like them like too on point anyway. I like a little grit, but I do feel like with samples, especially when the sample is a big part of the song, I think you have to play with it in as many in ways as possible. Not necessarily like showcasing the whole like, oh, I could do this with it. It was like have it like some A sections, some B sections,
it
some
up.
C sections.
Arrange it.
Yeah, it was like no arrangement, and like honestly, I think it would be a little bit raw if it was slowed down and like
Yeah,
not
true.
super swingy.
True.
Cause like I got the Canon. I mean, like that's like, cause right now it sounds like it could be like on a Levi's commercial or like
Right.
Old
Yep.
Navy, but then that shit could like go to Nas or
Old
like
Navy.
JV's real quick. Like if it
Yeah.
was just slowed down, like so. I
True.
think play with this. I would say play with the sample. It wasn't horrible, but I am gonna crap it just because like I didn't like enjoy it like sonically.
True.
But I will say definitely go back and play with the sample because it had a lot of potential.
That's fair.
So,
Potential.
yeah.
Potential.
Yeah.
Can we make potential t-shirts?
Potential. How would you spell it though? Is it
P-O-T-E-N-C-H-H-H.
Oh, you have to go potential.
Yeah, like be quiet. Yeah.
Potential. You have to do this.
Yeah.
Potential.
I'm gonna crap that.
Crap. Another crap.
Yeah, I basically agree with you guys. I mean, I think the sample was cool, but I agree with Glam. It was a little too repetitive for me. Like it didn't go anywhere. Kind of like what JoJo said. Like he played it a little safe. And I think the sample was cool. The mix sounded cool, but I agree with you in a sense of like, you know, I think he kept the original drums on there, so it wasn't really it didn't showcase any style for me. Like it didn't, you know, it was just like a sample with like a little bit of extra drums on it. You know, it didn't really showcase anything, so it kind of bored me a little.
So anonymous. So anonymous
so,
was anonymous.
Yeah.
True.
Ouch.
What about you, JoJo?
Yeah, so I mean, I felt like as far as the sample goes, the sample sounded dope, but I felt like the flip was a little traditional. I didn't really hear as much arrangements as I wanted to, and organic sounds. I'm big on organic sounds, just putting your own stuff into it. But
Yeah.
you know, I kind of get where it was going, but me personally, I felt like it could have used more arrangements in there.
True.
Yeah.
All right. That's another crap. Close though. It's close.
Sheets
you
all
guys?
around.
Shit.
I wasn't too. Like, I like the energy of the record.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was sample based, but like I agree with Joe. He could have took it somewhere else. He had enough elements in there to really bring out the sample and complement it. So
Yep.
I'm gonna say crap.
Crap.
Not
Grandz.
crap.
Crap.
I say
Crumb.
crap too. I think it was easy way out. It was real basic, repetitive, and I feel like the drums could have knocked way more. Like I'm really big on.
He could have
doing
played
things
with
the
them.
drums.
Yeah, could have
Yeah.
played with the drums a little.
Yeah.
Had a good feel though, old school feel.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us today, man.
Yeah, for real.
Another one
Some
for the
real
books,
love.
man.
Love it.
BLAPCHAT episode 62. Yo, it's gonna be lit when we get to 100, though.
What are we gonna do?
Yo, we're gonna do some
Missed
wild
the
shit. Might have to
50th.
do it live.
Beat show.
Do it on Times Square.
Yeah, we might have
Beat
to.
show.
Like
Beat show.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
yeah,
gonna be
bring
lit.
Chris Angel out for no
The
reason.
glass jar.
Ah, that's gonna be an nice jar. Yeah, we'll do it
like
in the
David
summertime. We'll
Blaine
do it in
or
the
something.
summertime so you don't have to freeze. Yeah, but shout to Buda and Grandz and JoJo Beatz
Yes,
for joining
salute.
us. Go get that Paranoia 2 album by Dave East. Shit is fire. Make sure you submit and try to, get in the Steel Sessions, man.
Yeah, and where can they follow you guys individually on social media?
yeah,
You can
socials.
follow us on Instagram, Buda the Future, BUDADAFUTURE, or Steel Sessions, STEELSESSIONS, steelsessions.com, and you can follow Grandz at
Grandz Music, everything, GRANDZMUZIK.
Dope.
Or you can holler at BLAPCHAT, man.
Yeah,
man,
And
come on, holla at
JoJo.
us.
Yeah, man, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, JoJo Beats, JoJo Beats.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
That's it.
Get it.
All right, let's go. Let's get it, guys. Appreciate you guys once again. Round of applause
Yes.
for another one in the books. We will see y'all next week. Oh, by the way, before we leave, I'll be in Connecticut next week, Tuesday. If you want to pull up, illmindproducer.com.
Past the Aux.
Come through past the aux. Let's get it.
Bridgeport, right?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport. Let's go,
We're taking the
Bridgeport.
train up, baby.
Let's go.
See y'all next week. Peace.
Hoes.